Hello folks, I am Ed Overstreet and I'm back doing another video. This time I will be using PixInsight instead of Lightroom to colorize, sharpen, and any other tweaks, crop that we might use in our quest to produce a time-lapse video of the sun. So without further ado, let's head over to PixInsight and start this show on the road. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. One other thing I probably will end up doing today is over in PixInsight, I did take some Andromeda, and I'll probably go ahead and process that, do a video on processing. I was in the act of doing that, and so I'm going to grab these icons and I'm going to get them out of my way, but I'm going to leave them up here. I've already saved this project, and just for the record, these are the original files. I shot stars at 8 seconds. I got to show you this. Here is an 8-second image of Andromeda, and I do this just for the stars, and I'm going to extract the stars and make for the blue and the green, and I'll make an image out of that so that my stars are going to be nice, sharp, and not saturated. But this is 8 seconds. This is only 20 images stacked, 8 seconds long, and look how much data you get from an 8 seconds. So don't be afraid on these CMOS cameras to dial down your exposures. You'd be surprised how much data that you get. And here's the red channel after 100 pictures at 45 seconds. So it's like, you know, it's significant. But my stars in this one are going to show so much better than these numerous stars in this one. So I'll remove these stars completely. I'll add these other stars back here, back to it. But then that's another video. So let me digress, and digress. What we're going to be doing today, though, is we're going to be processing and a time-lapse video. We did the processing in Lightroom in the prior video. Today we're going to use PixInsight to do the same thing. Step number one, we're going to open an image. So we're going to go to our planetary drive and the folder where our images are. Now we've got we're going to have to create a new folder, by the way. Let's go ahead and do that. This one's going to be called 4-Pix, and actually we're going to call this 3-Pix. And we're going to, I don't know what we're going to do in it, but I know we're going to colorize. And I'm sure we'll apply a crop. We may for sure do some saturation and some other tweaks. So I'm just going to put tweaks. So this is going to be this was the version for Lightroom, and this is going to be yet to be done, the version for version. The version for PixInsight. So let's open our first image, and ordinarily I'm going to blink through these, but I already did it before I ever did the initial sharpening. So blinking is essential. Let me move this over here. All right, this thing I'm talking about you can't see. It's part of my streaming software. All right, here's our sun, and the the things that we need to do, really, we need to colorize it. So let's do that by bringing up Curves Transformation, and to do that, go to Process, All Processes, come down. All processes come down to Curves Transformation, and this circle, when checked, gives you a preview of what your changes might look like before they're actually applied. So we call it a real-time preview, and so we'll try a real-time preview. And we're going to be working with the R, G, and the B channel. So let's go to the R channel, and let's raise her up. Now, as a caveat, if for some reason you make these adjustments and you still have a black and white image, then you did not convert it when you ran auto stackered. You did not force a barometrics. So you have to do that so that you have an RGB image to work on. So if this is mono, you can't make color changes. So if that's the case, then before you apply any curve, let's reset this. You're going to need to, I have to find this one now. Let's go down to color spaces. Yes, go to color spaces and go convert to RGB. And when you do this, this is going to say can't do it because it's already RGB. So, but if yours is not, then it will convert this to RGB. So that will be your first requirement if you find out that your adjustments don't add color. So we're going to bring the red channel up, and then we're going to grab the green channel, and we're not going to go down real far with the green channel. Then we're going to bring up the blue channel, and we're going to go down pretty far with the blue channel, so that we get something of color that you would be happy with. And if you want to change red, you're going to have to go back up and then grab the little tick and adjust that. You want to try moving the green a little more. In fact, I am going to move the green a little more. I kind of like that better. What I'm not liking about this is this gradient up here, and there's only one way to get rid of this gradient in PixInsight, and we're going to have to build a mask and to do that. And I would use the game mask feature to do that, but because it's pretty labor intensive, I'm going to keep this pretty simple to show you how to do essentially the basics. So let's apply this. You do that by hit the square, which is apply globally, and then we want to get rid of the real-time preview, but there you go. Tell you what, let's get rid of curves. Let's just suppose that we are going to get rid of this. You would go to Script, Utilities, and come down here to Game. I would make this bigger, and then I would click on an ellipsis, and I would bring that up here and just kind of fill in this space here like so, and then I would down here at the bottom click OK to create this mask. So there's our mask, and to apply it you need to drag it over here to this bar. So let's go do that, and you'll notice the color of this turned brown, but you really notice that your by the way, do not delete your mask once you've applied it. Just go tuck it away somewhere, because it will use that mask to do its work. Alright, let's now go to Mask, and we don't need to show the mask, but we need to invert it, because the mask is we're going to protect this area, and this is the area we want to change. So let's invert it. So now this is the area that's going to be worked on. I think I got that right. Am I ass backwards? And this is, we're going to find out. And I'm dyslexic this morning. Huh. I mean, I think I'm wrong, but at any rate, I could have guessed right. But I absolutely am having a brain freeze right now. All right, let's we don't need to show the mask, so let's don't remove. We just don't want to show it. All right, so it's gone. Let's bring up curves. Curves will work with this. Curves will work with this, and we want to go RGB, and let's see what happens. Oh, we got a real-time preview. Oh, I did the wrong one. Oh, okay. See, uh, here's what we should have. All right. Okay, well, let's reset it. And let's go up to mask. I love making a mistake on live, whatever. Let's invert it back. Now we are going to be closer to removing that. And so we're going to grab this and bring it up. And let's just apply that a couple times. Maybe 3 times. And we're done. Okay. I said I wasn't going to do it, but what the heck. We did it. We did it ass backwards at first, but we did it. All right. Now, what else do we want to do with this? First, let's remove the mask so we don't really screw stuff up. And we're going to do that right here. Again, keep your mask here because it will be needed when we do this on a batch basis. If you accidentally delete this, then the application of your mask and removal of this gradient won't take place. All right, let's go down to, let's go to mask, all processes, and let's go to the very last one, I think it is, Unsharp Mask. And let's get a real-time preview, and let's keep this simple. And let's take the standard deviation up to, not 10, let's see, let's take it up. We were on 2. Let's take it up to 10. We're getting that bubbly effect up here that I don't like. Too much. Actually, that's pretty good right there. Okay, now let's apply that. And let's call it a day. Let's also do a crop, and I'm going to go to process, all processes, dynamic crop, right here. And I'm going to reset this. And I'm going to come in right here, all the way almost to surface our rim activity. I don't want to crop anything out of the top here. I want all that sky. Coming over a little more here. And that works. So we're going to execute right here. And you can delete crop. All right, let's minimize this. We can't delete it, we'll just minimize it. We have now our mask and we have our sun that's been adjusted. Were it me, I would have used another sharpening. I probably would have used MMT sharpening and these settings that I have right here where you kind of sharpen just the midtones. As a matter of fact, I'm just to leave this open so you can copy these settings. You don't change any noise reduction, and let's take a look at this. Let's apply a linear mask, and let's unapply the linear mask. We really can see what's going on with our sharpening. And how do you like the sharpening? These settings do a pretty good job. You may want to let's I'm playing around here, folks. I'm playing around with level 1 right here. I'm making a change here. Which has to do with the size really of the edge. The more you move down, you move to different layers of sharp areas of sharpening. Okay. Let's go here. That's at 100. Let's look at this. Nope, 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 nope. By the way, these are those bubble type stuff here that I talk about that gets on the rim real easy when you start sharpening these things too much. Anyway, you can start at these settings and just click on and make your adjustments, see how you like them, play around, and I'm not going to apply any of these. I'm just going to leave it the way it was. And so here we go. So now we're going to put this image just back over here, and we're going to open up two programs. We're going to open up the process container. If you right click, you can, on your desktop, you can open up the image container, which is where we're going to put our files. And then if you want the process container, go to all processes and come down here to process container, and you do want that because everything that we have done, every step so far, sharpening, colorize, and crop, has been saved in the history right here. And so let's bring up the history, and we've got to find, we want this image right here. We want the history of what we did in that image, so we're going to go up to, we don't want the mask, we want right there. So these are the steps that we've just performed. We did curves, made a couple curves, tweak, we did Unsharp Mask, and we did dynamic crop. So I'm going to drag this here, put this all in my process container, because these are processes we just completed, and we have a container to hold them. All right, then I'm going to drag this over here and just drop it. So all of those tweaks have been placed right here. Now we need our images. So let's go to this box where it says plus and add. And we need to go make sure, I think I'm on the right one by, yes we are. Well, let's double check. I don't want to pick up one I did on another day. So here we are with our align images. So we do want to grab all these line images. And we now have added them. We don't have a base directory to select, but we do have a need for an output directory. So I created that earlier, and that is right here. We called it 3 using PixInsight, Colorize, and so forth. So if you don't have one, create one. We can go ahead and apply this in a batch now if we want to. I'm going to change the names awfully long, and I really don't need the date and time to add to the name, so I'm going to get rid of that. So far, so good. So here's what you do. By the way, this is counterintuitive. Here are your processes you want to apply. You just take this triangle at the bottom and you drag it right on top and drop it. And it's going to happen. We're going to apply all of these steps from curves to dynamic crop to all of these images and save it in that directory we created with a new name. By the way, you can also change the output template to be a JPEG if you want. And just give it another name like solar. You can do however you want to set that, but I just use file name and extension. We'll pause while it finishes. Okay, that is done, and we are finished using this, so we can close this out, that process out, and we can delete these two icons. We don't need those. Don't need that. And I'm going to save this project, by the way, because I don't want to lose these. These images are the raw. These were drizzled. If you want to know why I have. By the way, I want to show you something. In case you don't watch how I process this later on. This image has been drizzled 2 times. I want to zoom up on it. Check out the star. This image has not been drizzled. This image is undersampled. So it doesn't really have enough pixels to give us a good star. This one does because I've added twice the data. The file's twice the size too, and it takes longer to process. But let's look at what a drizzled image looks like. I'm going to drop it right on top of the name. Not on the bar, but right on top of the name, and it'll give me the exact same size. This is a non-drizzled, the raw image. That's this one up here, and this one has been drizzled. So they say you get more noise when you do this. I don't see it. Maybe slightly, but noise is so manageable. Who cares? All right, guys. That is it. Now I'm going to make another video. I've already processed the sun into a GIF file, but I'm going to make another video where I take the data from Pix and I take the data from Lightroom, and we're going to make 2 different videos, and we can compare the output of the 2 videos, whether you use Lightroom or whether you use PixInsight. And of course, I didn't spend a lot of time trying to get it the way I would really like it. I don't know that I could have really improved it that much, but I could have probably spent more time with both of them. But at least we'll be able to see that there are, in my opinion, really comparable outputs that are just as good. Pick your poison.